Welcome to Dell Software, Foglight Video Solutions. This video will cover how to set up multiple agents for monitoring using the advanced mode. My name is Daryl Williams and I'm a technical product specialist. The cartridge for SQL Server currently provides two methods when creating agents to monitor instances, the simple and advanced mode. The objective of this demo will cover how to create multiple SQL Server agents to monitor SQL Server instances using the advanced mode, ideal in creating multiple agents at a given time. The setup has some minimum requirements for databases and OS connections. Please review the prerequisites and requirements as a setup reference. Also consult the Foglight documentation guides mentioned below. To add multiple agent instances for monitoring in one setting, log into the Foglight web console with your Foglight user and click Databases to access the databases dashboard. Click Monitor and SQL Server. Click the hypertext link to discover multiple instances for monitoring. The following screen allows to select the Foglight Agent Manager client to deploy the agents against. Shown are the current Foglight Agent Managers reporting into the Foglight Management Server and the number of agents deployed against it. The selected radio usually defaults to the recommended Foglight Agent Manager that contains the smallest number of deployed agents. This auto function helps controls with load balancing and sizing that affects performance on the Foglight Agent Manager. Consult the little information I for further details on this process. If the defaulted Foglight Agent Manager is not the desired choice, there is an option to select a different host. Once that host has been selected, click Validate to check the Agent Manager system resources. When the status has validated, continue to the next step. To add an agent for monitoring, click on Add Instances and the menu pops up with configuration options. Add manually involves keying in the connection details. Discover by host and discover by IP requires the SQL browser services running to auto-discover the broadcasting instance name. The last option is import from file. The setup instructions are located in the Foglight for SQL Server user guide. For this demo, we will create the agent by add manually. To monitor an instance that's a default instance, specify only the host name. For a name instance, use the host name / instance name format. If the environment is a cluster environment, specify the virtual host name of the SQL Server host in the server name dialog. Consult the information I for more details on setting up the connection parameters. For this demo, we will set up monitoring against a named instance. The SQL Server default port is 1433. Click Finish. Click on Set Credentials. The information I is helpful explaining the use of each section. Under Connection Details, there are two methods for login connections. One is to specify login credentials, same connecting methods when accessing the SQL Server Management Studio. So if the provided user can connect via the SQL Server Management Studio, it should be able to establish login through the wizard. If SQL Server Authentication is selected, the OS credentials for configuring OS metrics are configured separately. Click on Missing Credentials and complete the OS login setup in accordance to the information provided. There's also an option to select Store Credentials from a lockbox if exists. Ideal for domain users' accessibility. The second connecting method is to log into SQL Server using Windows Authentication and the Windows account that is running Foglight with the user shown in parentheses. This means if a local Foglight Agent Manager is installed on the SQL Server host, it will adopt those credentials. For this setup, we will authenticate using Windows Authentication to log into the instance. Configuring this authentication will allow to connect to the instance as well as log into the OS to gather OS metrics when enabled. Enter the username in the domain / username format. The current sensitivity level for the alarm is set to normal. This alarm level is adjustable. There's a sensitivity control definition for each alarm level of choice. Click Monitor. Configuration starts, and if a Grant Privileges box pops up, supply a sysadmin user to execute grant scripts. Once completed, Monitor is shown under Status, and the alarm sensitivity level is also indicated. The new agent is now created to monitor the instance, and viewable in the database's dashboard. Repeat the setup process to discover other instances without leaving the screen. After a couple minutes of collection time, the dashboard should become fully populated with data for the newly created agent. To learn more FogLight for SQL Server, visit software.dell.com/products/FogLight for SQL Server. For more video tutorials, visit dellsoftware.com/support.